Hello, and welcome to my second video with commentary. This time is the Fallen Protectors. Again, Flex Raid. Again, Brewmaster Monk point of view. Okay, so here we go in the fight. There's three Pandarans. There's Rook, He, and Sun. I'm tanking Rook on this side. You're going to see the blue dot, the orange dot on the far side. That's the second tank. Tanking He. Sun really can't be tanked. You just kind of have to deal with her. So I'm going to tank Rook off to the side here. And the hard part about this fight is all three of them have to die at the same time, or they're going to end up standing back up. And it's done in three stages. First stage, we're just going to burn Rook. We do it in the book in the order Rook, He, then Sun, rinse, repeat, and then at the end, of course, we just AoE them all down, so they all die at the same time. Each one of them is this two-stage fight. First stage, you just beat on them until they get down to the second stage, and with Rook, here's what we got. We have Misery, Gloom, and Sorrow. I'm tanking Misery here. You'll see where the blue square is. That's where they're dealing with Sorrow right now. I actually end up picking up Gloom here also, so I'm tanking two of them. When tanking Misery, it's pretty easy fight to tank. All you have to do is basically move him around, and because he's going to put that black stuff on the ground. The nice part about it when you're tanking it is he actually ends up kicking you back. So you end up actually falling out almost all the way out of it. And you just kind of want to kite him around the room, try to keep him away from the other tank, keep him away from the raid, so you don't get that black stuff affecting the other players. And once all three of these guys are down, I'm just going to end up going back to tanking Rook. And this is how we always do it with me. I tank Rook, I tank Misery. The nice part is I can just move on back here, and I'm back tanking Rook. Rook does a couple special abilities. He does Fist of Fury, which will stun me for a bit. It's not that big of a deal. I try to time it so I can get my guard up just before that so that I'm not taking any damage. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There it is there. It's called Vengeful Strikes when he does it, not Fist of Fury. Meanwhile, while I'm doing this, the whole raid is now focusing on He on the other side of the map, and once He gets down to a certain percentage, he's going to do his special thing, which is a Mark of Agony. It's basically just a thing that they end up throwing around. He'll focus on whoever has it, and you just kind of, even though you're a DPS, you're going to be one of the DPS doing it, you're going to end up tanking him for a bit just to keep him still. And of course, you do have the other tank over there also, because as you notice, they kneel down and stop fighting for a bit once their second stage kicks in. So basically, it's a three-stage fight, and each of the three stages has two stages. I know that sounds kind of weird, but that's the way it works. And I'm just going to sit here and just keep tanking Rook through this stage until they switch to Sun. Sun's a little different than the other two, or you don't just kind of do it a little differently. So it looks like, looks like Rook, there we go, and that's the other thing he does. He likes to do his, as soon as he gets down and does his second stage, Rook adds in the spinning crane kick. He'll jump towards where tends to jump towards where most of the players are, then does that. Basically, you just want to get out of it as quickly as possible if you're a DPS, and then he'll just jump back to whatever tank is currently dealing with him. So at this stage, all I'm doing is just standard tanking. Standing in front of him, keeping his focus on me, making sure that those Fists of Fury are not going towards the raid. Because while they don't do a lot of damage to me, to a DPS. Here we go. Here's stage 2 with Sun. She puts up this little bubble. Now, being that I'm tanking Rook, what I'm trying to do is be in the bubble and keep his Fist of Fury from hitting the other raid members, because everybody needs to be inside the bubble. If you're outside the bubble, you're going to be taking huge damage and you're going to end up dying. So you want to have everybody inside the bubble, including both tanks. As you notice, we kind of got the two we're tanking off to the sides while they deal with whatever it is inside the bubble. I can't remember what it is inside the bubble they have to deal with. And it's just, you just keep tanking. Once it's done, I'm going to move Rook back to the side. A lot of times he'll do his spinning crane kick right as soon as the bubble bursts and right at the edge of it. And if you're DPS, all you want to do at that point is just get out of it, because if he hits you with it, like I said, it's going to do a lot more damage to a DPS than it does to me. It's only hitting me for about 31,000 a tick, which isn't that bad. I'm sitting, I think in this raid I was sitting right around 700k life, so 31k tick isn't bad. And then we go back to stage 2 of Rook, because they were beating on Rook that time. Again, I'm tanking Misery. You'll see the black stuff on the ground there. You'll notice every time it goes down, I get knocked into the air. So it's really easy to know when it happens. I picked up Gloom here, so I do have the 2 on me again while they deal with Sorrow at the blue. We always do Sorrow, Misery, Gloom. First time we did this, we tried to do Misery, Sorrow, Gloom, but Sorrow, Misery, Gloom seems to work out really nice, because then people can move out of the way of Sorrow. They don't have to all be stacked up. Because Sorrow, like I said, out of the way of Misery, sorry, because Misery does put that black stuff on the ground. Okay, now we're just dealing with Gloom. It's just 3 ads. Standard, kill the 3 ads. And there we go. Now we're back to the 3 bosses. We do have someone calling out who to attack and when for the DPS, because like I said, the idea is we want to get them all dead at the same time. Right now it looks like they're probably going to be dealing with He on the far side, so that would be where the other tank is tanking him. I'm not really sure what He's special ability is. I know you have to move out of the way. It's a gouge or something. I've never actually done it myself. Here we go. So then they have the Mark of Anguish. That's that thing that they hop around and decides who his clone thing is going to be attacking. You just basically stand in it as long as you can and try to live through it. If you're DPS and you have some sort of defensive cooldowns, pop them. Definitely a good thing to do. And as far as this goes, you just keep beating on the guys really carefully, and eventually they will die. And then once they're done dealing with the Mark of Anguish, then the other tank is going to move back over and pick up He on the side there once again. And then we're going to go back. They're going to go back to beating on Sun. Even as a tank, that spinning crane kick can do some pretty heavy damage to you, so definitely want to stay out of that. As a monk, of course, keep your stagger up. Make sure you're purifying when you get low. Just normal tanking stuff. I just eat this stun. I'm not sure if you can actually move out of the way. I've just never really tried. I'm not that worried about it. Like I said, the Fist of Fury doesn't do big damage. And if you can get your guard up just before it, it's really nice, because it will actually absorb most, if not all of it. And here we go. Now we're moving into the middle again. Of course, I've been hit by the Fist of Fury, which does stun you, so it's kind of takes me a little bit to get in here. Again, I want to put him on the edge so that he's facing kind of out and away from the raid. A lot of positioning happening here. You want to be real careful and not end up stunning the other players that are dealing with stuff inside there. But at the same time, you want to keep yourself within the bubble. So it's basically just all comes down to positioning. Okay, and once the bubble breaks, a lot of times he'll do that, which is the spinning crane kick within the raid, and you want to get out of there if you're deep, no matter what role you're playing. For me, I just use that time to be able to move Rook off to the side here. As you can see, I got my guard up there pretty quick for that Vengeful Strike. And now we're just burning them all down. Switching targets quite often just for the sake of we want to get them down to a really low amount, but all of them down fairly even. And then we're going to end up stacking them up in the middle and just AoEing the 3 of them down. It's going to happen fairly quick here. It's a fairly long fight, but it's a really fun fight, and it's really interesting because there's 3 bosses, each with 2 stages, but at the same time, you got to kill them all at the same time. So it adds that extra element of getting everything organized. Okay, here we go. So now we're going to move them all to the center. We've got all 3 of the bosses in the center, and now it's just straight AoE. We want to do pump as much damage into all 3 of them at the same time as possible. So we're just going to sit there and just beat on them until they die. And then they're going to drop to the ground dead, and that's what we're looking for. Again, I still try to keep Rook faced off to the side so that he's not hitting other players with his Fist of Fury. And there you go. There is the Fallen Protectors on Flex Raid. Again, I just got gold. All 4 of the videos that I'm posting from this particular raid, I ended up actually getting golds. I've only gotten 1 item from Flex so far with all my boss kills, but hey, that's just part of the game. Once again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.